Hello everyone, you are on the Moby channel and I am glad to see you on my channel again. Today we have released a new episode 6 of Skibidi Toilet Zombie Universe. And yes, I decided to dedicate a separate video to this episode, because this series is worth special attention. The video turned out to be very interesting, so be sure to watch it to the end. Also do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel and go to my Discord server, the link will be in the first pinned comment. And also at the end of the video I will tell you about where the zombie virus appeared in the universe of Skibidi Toilet. Anyway, we're starting. Despite the fact that a new episode 6 was released today, I missed episode 5, so let's first analyze episode 5 for you and then we'll move on to the 6th. Don't worry, analysis of episode 5 won't take so long and soon we'll be in episode 6. Episode 5 of Skibidi Toilet Zombie Universe continues the events of episode 4. Specifically, the squad of survivors was surrounded by zombies, but suddenly the roof of the building collapses right on the big zombie speakerman and we see a flying ship that flew to rescue the surviving squad. But he did not take them away from this place, he only helped them survive in this situation. Next, the group of survivors opened the door and got into a corridor that leads to a secret room or laboratory, which only Skibidi Toilet can enter. Our partner Skibidi Toilet pronounces a sound password and the door to the laboratory opens. Then we see that the laboratory was destroyed. But what happened here? Next, the agents walk down the corridor and you can see the secrets that the author left in this episode. Here you can see a sheet that says a new race. And I think this is a reference to the very warrior we saw in the second episode, who saved the POV operator and teleported away. Next, we see another sheet on which the author expressed his gratitude to YouTubers for making reactions, analyses and voiceovers of his series. There's also me here. Here's a look. And also here is a reference to the Skibidi Toilet multiverse from Dom Studio. Next, the agents go and inspect the destroyed laboratory in parallel. Next, they approach a capsule called X18, and if you know what this reference is, then write in the comments. They open this capsule and it contains a new weapon. The POV operator takes this weapon and it gets even cooler in his hands and I really like how this animation is done. Next, the POV operator approaches the computer on which all the information is stored and selects one video recording. The video starts and we see how a Skibidi scientist is conducting an experiment. Here you can also notice a flash drive that says Virus 19. The scientist takes this flash drive with the virus and inserts it into the cameraman's agent.
Oh my!
Next, an error appears on the computer and the scientist does not understand what is happening and how to stop it. And meanwhile Virus 19 has already infected Agent Cameraman, he turned into a zombie and his first victim was Skibidi Scientist. And as we know, the scientist is also a zombie now. We saw him in episode 1 and in the second episode. Then the recording stops. The POV operator turns around and sees the very flash drive on which Virus 19 is located. He's taking her for himself. Next, zombie cameraman and a large zombie speakerman burst into the laboratory. The zombie speakerman orders an attack on a squad of survivors, but the POV operator uses a new weapon and it does a very good job of destroying zombies. Next, the zombie speakerman decides to destroy the squad of survivors himself and goes straight to the POV operator. He starts shooting back, but the zombie speakerman closes with his sturdy arm and the bullets of the X18 weapon do not hit the speakerman. And suddenly, the zombie speakerman is attacked by Astro Toilet. He decides to help the squad of survivors and how interesting it is to watch. After all the time, the toilets fought with the agents, and now they have united, because they have one big common enemy, and this is Virus 19, which they have to destroy and cure all infected people. Next, a flying ship arrives behind the squad of survivors and while Astro Toilet distracts the big zombie speakerman, they go to the ship. And the moment they walk, they notice a new character in this universe and it's the Plague Doctor. At least that's what he looks like and his appearance is very cool. He says some kind of secret message, but I couldn't make it out, so if you know what the Plague Doctor said, then write in the comments. Then the embroidery squad continues to run and now they have finally reached the ship. And it already had cameraman agents, Drillman agent, Skibidi Toilet Hydra and Skibidi Scout, whom we recently saw in Skibidi Toilet 70 Part 2. A squad of survivors jumps into a flying ship and we see how the big zombie speakerman was still able to defeat Astro Toilet. Next, a message appears on Agent Cameraman's tablet that their base is under attack and I think we are talking about the very base from the second episode. They are also asked to deliver the X18 weapon to the base to repel the attack. And that's the end of episode 5, and it's good that you don't have to wait a few days, because episode 6 has already been released and you'll see its analysis right now. And episode 6 really continues the events of the previous episode 5. The surviving agents and toilets are flying in a flying ship, and when the POV operator looks at everyone inside, you can see how one of the cameraman agents is behaving very strangely. Just take a closer look, he's holding his hand, and when he shows us a like, his hand starts shaking convulsively. But the POV operator did not pay attention to this. I assume that this cameraman is infected and is just afraid to admit it. What do you think? Write your theories in the comments. Next, we see how another cameraman agent wants to ask the POV operator for an X-18 weapon, and here we also see a reference to Just Cozy. What's up, bro? Next, the POV operator gives X-18 to agent cameraman, and I was surprised that they have a whole computer on the flying ship thanks to which you can improve or change the characteristics of weapons. Also here we see a few more references to YouTubers, and also here you can notice a random comment. Therefore, be sure to write your theories in the comments both under my video and under the Monster Up video. Next, the cameramen upgrade the X-18, and once the weapon has been upgraded, the alarm goes off and no one understands what's going on. Next, we see how someone's sharp claws rip out the door of a flying ship and everyone inside begins to fall out. Our POV operator also falls out of the plane, and because of the high adrenaline, he seems to lose consciousness in the air, then loses consciousness again, and so on several times. Next, the POV operator miraculously survives and comes to his senses. Also, other characters on the plane magically survived, and who was it? Who shot down a flying ship with a squad of survivors? When the POV operator was flying out of the plane, you could see how the Astro toilet was speeding at high speed. And when the POV operator came to his senses, the first victim of Astro Skibidi zombie was Skibidi Scout. And then we realized that this plane crash was caused by this Astro zombie toilet. And most likely this is the same Astro toilet that protected the surviving squad in the last 5 episodes. The second victim of Astro zombie was the Hydra Skibidi toilet. And so that the POV operator would not become the next victim, he began to look for the X-18 weapon. And it's good that it turned out to be not far from him. He immediately ran to him. And then, when the zombie toilet wanted to kill the next character, the POV operator shot at the Astro zombie toilet, and thanks to the X-18 weapon, he was able to tear off one of the zombie toilet's hands. Next, Astro zombie toilet got very angry and began to move quickly, and the X-18 weapon began to reboot, because this projectile that the POV operator released into Astro zombie toilet was very powerful, and it takes time for the weapon to release another such projectile. Next, Astro zombie toilet returned and threw a car into the POV of the cameraman, but it was good that he managed to dodge. And then when the Astro zombie toilet flew at full speed to the POV of the operator, it seemed that everything was over. But no, because another powerful projectile flew into the zombie toilet. But who was it? The POV operator turns around and we see the Titan G toilet emerging from the smoke. And yes, as we can see, he managed to escape, unlike the scientist. And by the way, watch this video to the end, because next I will tell you something that you most likely did not notice. And now let's go back to episode 6. Next, zombie Astro toilet let out a very loud roar, and apparently he called the Skibidi scientist here, because a second later a zombie scientist appeared out of the smoke, and then we see this epic scene. It seems that in episode 7 we will have a big and epic battle between the zombie scientist and the Titan G toilet. Now let me show you something that you probably haven't noticed. Do you wonder where this zombie virus came from? Of course, you will say that it was a scientist who developed this virus and it crashed. But what if that's not the case? If we recall the events of episode 5, then we can notice how at this moment, in this place, the plague doctor appears, and when the Skibidi scientist is distracted, then you can notice how something very quickly changes the flash drive to another, and just the same it was the plague doctor, whom we also saw in episode 5 of Skibidi Toilet Zombie Universe. Write in the comments, did you notice it or not? And also write your theories and watch my other videos.